Greetings to all. A warm welcome, my dear sisters and brothers, and my dear friends. A new meditation, an awareness, an awakeness of the way to love. This is your Pastor Yati. He went away sad. The verse for today is from Mark 10:22. And the young man went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Has it ever struck you that you have been programmed to be unhappy? And so, no matter what you do to become happy, you are bound to fail? It is as if you fed mathematical equations into a computer and then failed each time you pushed it to turn out lines from Shakespeare. If you wish to be happy, the first thing you need is not effort or even goodwill or good desires, but a clear understanding of how exactly you have been programmed. And this is what happened. First, your society and your culture taught you to believe that you would not be happy without certain persons and certain things. Just take a look around you. Everywhere people have actually built their lives on the unquestioned belief that without certain things, money, power, success, approval, a good reputation, love, friendship, spirituality, God, they cannot be happy. What is your particular combination? Once you swallowed your belief, you naturally developed an attachment to this person or things you were convinced you could not be happy without. Then came the efforts to acquire your precious things or person to cling to. Once it was acquired, and to fight of every possibility of losing it. This finally led you to abject emotional dependence, so that the object of your attachment had the power to thrill you when you attained it, to make you anxious lest you be deprived of it, and miserable when you lost it. Stop for a moment now and contemplate in horror the endless list of attachments that you have become a prisoner. Think of concrete things and persons, not abstractions. Once your attachment had you in its grip, you began to strive might and main every waking minute of your life to arrange the world around you so that you could attain and maintain the object of your attachment. This is an exhausting task that leaves you little energy for the business of living and enjoying life fully. It is also an impossible task in an ever-changing world that you simply are not able to control. So instead of a life of serenity and fulfillment, you are doomed to a life of frustration, anxiety, worry, insecurity, suspense, and tension. For a few fleeting moments, the world does indeed yield to your efforts and rearrange itself to suit your desires. Then you become briefly happy, or rather, you experience a flash of pleasure which isn't happiness at all, for it is accompanied by the underlying fear that at any moment this world of things and people that you have so painstakingly put in place will slip out of your control and let you down, which it never fails to do sooner or later. And here is something else to ponder on. Each time you are anxious and afraid, it is because you may lose or fail to get the object of your attachment, isn't it? And each time you feel jealous, isn't it because someone may make off with what you are attached to? And almost all your anger comes from someone standing in the way of your attachment, doesn't it? And see how paranoid you become when your attachment is threatened. You cannot think objectively. Your whole vision becomes distorted, doesn't it? And every time you feel bored, isn't it because you are not getting a sufficient supply of what you believe will make you happy, of what you are attached to? And when you are depressed and miserable, the cause is there for all to see. Life is not giving you what you have convinced yourself you cannot be happy without. Almost every negative emotion you experience is a direct outcome of an attachment. So, there you are loaded down by your attachments and striving desperately to attain happiness precisely by holding on to the load. The very notion is absurd. The tragedy is that this is the only method that everyone has been taught for attaining happiness. A method guaranteed to produce anxiety, disappointment, and sorrow. Hardly anyone has been told to follow truth. In order to be genuinely happy, there is one and only one thing you need to do. Get deprogrammed. Get rid of those attachments. When people stumble upon this self-evident truth, they become terrified at the thought of the pain involved in dropping their attachment. But the process is not a painful one at all. One of the contrary, getting rid of attachments is a perfectly delightful task if the instrument you use to rid yourself of them is not willpower or renunciation, but sight. All you need to do is open your eyes and see that you do not really need the object of your attachment at all. That you were programmed, brainwashed into thinking that you could not be happy or you could not live without this particular person or thing. Remember how heartbroken you once were, how you were certain you never would be happy again because you lost someone or something that was so precious to you. But then what happened? Time passed and you learned to get on pretty well. Did you not? That should have alerted you to the falseness of your belief, to the trick your programmed mind was playing on you. An attachment isn't a fact. It is a belief, a fantasy in your head, acquired through programming. If that fantasy did not exist inside your head, you would not be attached. You would love things and persons, and you would enjoy them thoroughly. But, lacking the belief, you would enjoy them on a non-attachment basis. As a matter of fact, is there any other way to really enjoy something? Pass in review now all those attachments of yours, and to each person or object that comes to mind say, I am not really attached to you at all. I am merely deluding myself into the belief that without you, I will not be happy. Just do this honestly and see the change that comes about within you. I am not really attached to you at all. I have merely cheated myself into the belief that without you, I will not be happy. My beautiful people who are listening to this Way of Love chapter, and the young man went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. I did not say that we cannot grieve when we have a loss, and that we indeed have to go to that grief process. I did not say that we cannot be blessed with the things that God has given us in friends, in children, in brothers and sisters. In good work, every day our bread on the table, and so on. No, it is the way, like this young man was focusing on what Jesus was asking him. Follow me. Follow me. What can it cost you? What will it cost you to put it all on the side? And even that young man said that he already was giving in charity a lot. I think it must be hard for a very, very rich person to leave all behind and not be attached to his possessions. I'm not saying here if you're a rich person or doing well and working well with the money and doing all what you think that God has put on your heart, that is wrong. No, that is not being said. It is the way that we are attached. And think, if we lose that, we're not going to be happy. Because I believe very strongly that happiness is not related to anything we touch or possess. It is in the way of life we are living in this world. And I say to all of you, my beautiful people, love your friends and your children, and your husband and wife, you brothers and sisters, with the one that is in you. Abide in him and listen to the silent voice of the Holy Spirit. And may you overflow by his living water day by day. This is your Pastor Yeti.